1 million, 2 million, 3. Guys, that's going into like. Oh my god, like, see, like, there you go, guys. That was actually perfect. I'm gonna have to probably slow down this video just to see, like, what that biggest number actually was, but I'm pretty... Hey guys, welcome back to another Borderlands video. So I've been having a lot of you ask how I build my skill tree. So the last video I put up, I was taking down vile bounties, and I was really showcasing Vex's like overall output power. Everyone kind of knows, especially if you are playing with Vex, that most people are using the crit knife as well as Vex's bleed effect. So, you know, with making sure you're getting, you know, multiple crit strikes and then how the bleed effect actually multiplies on top of crit strikes, that's why Vex is able to do so much damage. I also have really powerful shotguns, which, you know, with one shot, you know, going into that first bleed effect causes a very high multiplier. So I'm just going to go over my skill tree to see how I build that. And you guys can either, you know, follow along and try to build the same tree, or if you guys already have something else figured out for your character, then, you know, whatever works for you is the right way to go. I'm just going to show you how I built up my damage multiplier. Let me respec here, and we're going to go over everything that I normally pick. So respec here. We'll just redo everything. And then the reason why I'm also at this location, I'm just going to go over to the dummy here, and I'm going to show you guys the damage that I do just alone with the guns that I'm using. There, 50. Okay, so let's say like maybe an average of around 45,000 to 50,000, just by hitting that crit knife and then by hitting the headshot with the shotgun. Now, if you guys see, my shotgun here does the, there, 1268 times 6. So I mean, like, do the math on that. Like, either way, like, I'm kind of limiting myself to the 45 and to the 50. And remember, like, I just kind of respected my skills, so I don't have any bleed happening. So remember, when you bleed, right, everything is going to start multiplying. So the cool part as well, and the reason actually why I have a multiplier is, and I haven't even used it there, actually, this is kind of the cool part. So if you guys look at my reb kit here, so if you think on use, right, grants increased damage of the next shot by 200%, right? So that's just 200% of my first shotgun, right? And actually, I don't know, you know what? I've never actually attempted to see if that 200% is applied to the crit shot, because I don't know, like the crit shot of the knife, I mean, because I don't know if that counts as a shot. Let me see. So we have this. Ooh. Did anybody see what that was? Okay, I didn't actually see that because I went away so fast. So let's see what this does here. Okay, so 94,000. Okay, so it kind of just doubles it. So that's not bad. So if you're thinking too, like when you apply a bleed, and if you apply a bleed on that, right, then it's going to multiply on that initial shot that you take, right? So that 94,000. So like, you know, if it's going to multiply, let's say it doubles every time the bleed effect is taking, is applying damage, then it's going to double on that 94 and not on the 50 or the 45, right? So every time it multiplies, it's going to be double what it originally would be. And I don't even have any additional damage put out, you know, from my skill tree. So what we're going to do here is let's start with the skill. So right off the bat, we're going to come over to this one because I've actually been using the Incarnate. Because if you guys saw my last video when it came to doing the Vile Bounties, I didn't actually realize how powerful the Eldritch Blast was. And you can see the damage there, like 8,400. So what I didn't realize, and I always thought, you know, when you're fighting those vile characters, that you had to keep shooting off the crystals off their body. They would release the orbs into the air. You shoot the orbs down, and then they're permanently damaged by that. They don't regain that health, right? So you just have to pretty much slowly keep chiseling off the crystals to kill the enemies. But I had realized very soon, and I never really use it. I kind of turn on the Incarnate to, you know, enhance other features, but I never really made use of the blast. But shooting the blast at the vile characters actually seemed to really damage them, and it almost wiped out the crystals immediately, and you know, against some of them that you guys saw in the video. So I'm definitely going to keep using this for sure because of how much I just biasly love it now. But yeah, let's make our way down the skill tree. So because I want to keep applying that 200% damage as much as I can from my rep kit, I'm just going to enhance the cooldown as much as I can. So I start with 3 here. And then you guys know you always need 5 points inputted on one line to get the next one. So pretty much what I did is I just came over here as a skill, with the kill skill of Grave Sights, just to enhance my critical hit damage, my gun handling. So we'll just put 2 into there, and now we're down here. So if we guarantee the crit knife, yeah, so that's going up to 85, over 100,000, 300,000. There's a million. Wow, did you guys see that? That bleed was climbing. It went over to 2 million, and I haven't even finished my skill tree yet. And I didn't even activate my rep kit, and I didn't even activate Incarnate. So you guys can see that just so far, the bleed effect, and with the little bit of additional damage that I put on, it's already jumping to 2 million. Like, isn't that nuts? Like, I almost don't even have to go through the rest of my skill tree. Like, that's just crazy. But yeah, you all saw it. 2 million. That's absolutely nuts, and I haven't even finished my skill tree. So, okay, let's go back into the skill tree here and see what else we can put on. Even though, whenever I deal gun damage, like I get a stack of this to increase my fire rate, it's not really like a big deal. I mean, if I'm using other weapons, obviously at some point it's going to be good, but just to get down this skill tree, I don't need to pump a whole bunch of. Well, you know what? I actually just kind of caught myself there. Vex's skill damage. So my skill damage is actually going to be my Eldritch Blast. So you know what? I might actually just crank this and get critical hits with my Eldritch Blast. Wow, I didn't even think about that until right now. I don't need gun handling or fire rate because I'm using a one bullet shotgun. See? Man, every time I play this game, I learn something new. I'm just going to crank 5 into this one. Boom, 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 boom. So I got 21% on that. That's a skill critical hit chance. That's actually awesome. Like, damn, like look at that. I didn't even think about that until right now. I just assumed because I had 2 points into it, I was like, yeah, that's enough. Wow. Okay, well, I'm glad I figured that out. So anyway, here, we're going to up this chance right here. Okay, 5% chance into activating kill skills. I know it only says kill skill trigger chance is 5%. It's way more than that, guys. I'm getting kill skills all the time. So my favorite point to get, and it's the reason why I like coming down this tier, down the green skill tree, is getting this right here to strike me down. So whenever I go into fight for my life, I immediately get a second wind. Right? So you guys also have to remember though. So you do become invisible for a little bit, and this isn't every single time. So I actually didn't realize this at first either. I thought like whenever I went into fight for your life, you always had a second win. No. So there's a cooldown, right, of 120 seconds. So it's 2 minutes. So you get one opportunity to get a second win. But if you get put into fight for your life again, you don't get back up. So I still do like this one because I'm not getting downed very often, but it does help if I'm against a boss and say I missed a dodge here or there or anything like that you know I got my second win. But yeah, it definitely sucks getting hit that second time and then you can't get back up unless you get a kill obviously on someone. But this is very cool. It's probably my favorite part about this skill tree. So as you can see there, I have 15 points left. And if you guys remember from the start of when I highlighted my skill tree, I had 5 points over into the red. So we're going to go do that. And this over here is just a bonus kinetic damage with my guns while my action skill is active. So that's another big one. This is why, and here, some of you might not really know this. If you go back up into your incarnate, nowhere in here does it say by activating Incarnate, you gain additional damage anywhere. You get some movement speed, a little bit of that, you get your phase explosion, blah, 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 but it doesn't enhance anything to your gun damage. However, when you come over here and you put this on, so you get now an additional bonus kinetic damage with your guns while your action skill is activated, right? So when I activate Incarnate, right, and then I'm using, my Eldritch Blast, my shotgun, all that kind of stuff, my, the crit knife, now all of that bonus kinetic damage is added onto there, right? So this is why I wanted to come over into this tree and use this. And when I was even working my way down the green tree, I didn't even notice this red tree at all. Like my goal was to not use anything from this tree. But then obviously as you're figuring stuff out throughout the game, you're curious, you want to see like, is there anything I can kind of use from these skill trees? Because this one obviously is mostly used for trouble, which I don't really have any intention of using him ever really. Like maybe when I'm done kind of building all my characters, maybe I'll try it. But I don't know much about it. So because of the status effect damage increase of 35%, right? That overall all status effect is going to be the total damage that I am applying in that first shotgun shot that I take, right? And really anything additional, you know, any if I throw an additional crit knife, if I take an additional shot after that, it's obviously just going to multiply more on top of the bleed that's already happening. But if you think that very first shot that I take, applying that bleed, right? 35% of that is going to be added onto it. So you have to think whatever that total number is going to be, whatever that first bleed shot is, that's what's going to be multiplying over time, right? So, you know, making sure that I can do the rep kit over and over again if I'm either fighting a boss that I don't kill right away in one shot or if I'm fighting like a swarm of guys, right? I'm always hitting like a maximum, like really, really high initial damage number on everyone that I hit, right? So like with all these multipliers going into it, you know, having that kill skill ability, skill activating kill skills ability down here, you know, through critical hits. So like it's with all the additional numbers and damage going into this, like I love that this last, you know, trait that you have on this blue tree with that status effect damage is just making that shotgun, that first initial shotgun bleed shot, so massive that the multiplier is going to go through the roof. So now that we have all that, I know it's kind of complicated. You know, maybe I didn't explain it the right way, but I think you guys are kind of getting the gist of it. Let's go over to the dummy and we're going to test this out. So, oh, I still actually have an augment to pick. Consumes all charges to ricochet on hitting an enemy. Okay, well that's actually pretty good too, right? So either way, the Eldritch Blast is helping with the ricochets, and I might as well even just add that as a little note as well. Here, hold on, let me pick this. Let me go into the skills. Let me pick that. There we go. And so over in here in the inventory, you all know this, right? Everybody has the fireworks shield. So when you're spawning missiles, like when you're getting hit, when your armor is breaking, you're launching missiles. So there's going to be ricochets and missiles happening everywhere. So aside from all the damage we're putting down into that bleed and with the shotgun, like I'm dealing damage everywhere. Like it's just absolutely ridiculous. But let's just going back to this overall effect that we put down onto our bleed, which we're going to apply through that shotgun. Let's see how much damage we can put. And I think we saw on one, like what did we do just there? We got up to like 2 million. So here, let's do the Eldritch Blast. Okay, we'll do the crit knife. Boom, boom. Let's see what this gets to. 1 million, 2 million, 3. Guys, that's going into like. Oh my god, like see, like there you go guys, that was actually perfect. I'm gonna have to probably slow down this video just to see like what that biggest number actually was. As you can see with everything that I kind of loaded onto mine, that overall bleed effect and how it multiplies is just absolutely nuts, and it's so much fun playing the game right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it kind of took me a little bit long to get through the overall description of everything I was using, but you know, I'm enjoying this setup and I hope you guys do too. See you in the next one.